Oh, hello. How is everybody? I'll let you filter in and take your seats. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. I'll wave while I've still got a hand free. I'm not contemplating answers and such. Hope everybody's good. Oxford has apparently gone through a round of human testing on a vaccine. Good news. I'm loving that. And in just a moment here, as everybody filters in, we're going to be talking to Oliver Tree. I can't wait. All right, Atlantic Records coming in hot. I bet that's Oliver Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and via the Atlantic Records account. All right.
What up?
Well, hello, sir.
What's up, Nerve? How you doing?
Dude,
You cut out, dude. The audio's shitting on me. Can you say that again?
Sorry, I think I turned on my Bluetooth thing and it screwed with us a bit. But I'm doing great, man. Living the dream. You?
Doing all right, man. I could be better, but I'm doing all right, all things considering. I don't know if you saw, I rode the world's biggest scooter on a live stream. I broke the Guinness World Record on Friday. Day of the album release. Yeah.
I saw a bunch of footage from ambulances and stuff like that, and I was going to ask you, like, what caused the
okay,
all
yeah,
the damage.
So, I don't know if it sounds like you didn't see the world's biggest scooter live stream.
You know, Instagram has this way of putting the most irrelevant stories first and then burying the lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so what happened was I rode the world's biggest scooter, which is approximately 15 feet tall. I rode this thing a half mile down a landing strip. Right at the end, a gust of wind took me over as I hit the finish line. It knocked me over, put my arm out to take the fall, broke 2 hairline fractures in my wrist here. I broke multiple bones in my fucking ankle. I had some abrasions on my face, and they thought that I fractured my C1, but my neck's not so bad.
That's good.
I ended up getting taken to the hospital immediately because we had the full on-set paramedics, everything there, because it's pretty dangerous stunt. You know, I am on pavement 20 feet up there.
Yeah.
And they took me there, and they made me stay there till 6 in the morning the next day. And at that point, I had about an hour of sleep or 2 hours of sleep, and then I had to do a shitty-ass podcast where the guest insulted me the whole time the next day.
Terrible.
So, yeah, it was
terrible.
It was supposed to be a super epic moment in my career. Me and all my friends were going to be celebrating, bring out the champagne. And what ends up happening? I end up literally spending the night in the hospital by myself, looking at my Instagram story, seeing what my fans are sending me. That was the best thing that could have happened to me, though. They helped save me. Everybody who sent me a story, shout out. I love you guys.
Right on. And this is, supposed to be a big weekend for you. You just released an album, man. Ugly is Beautiful just came out too. So that's a giant milestone right there. And setting a Guinness Book of World Records. This should have been like your weekend to party, man. You should have been like celebrating with like all sorts of champagne and craziness going on.
Yeah, and it's a weird time to release an album. At this point, like no one really cares about an album. It's like the shittiest time. You can't tour it, you can't promote it. It's just kind of like, it's a weird time. And the way that the label made me package the album, they put out all these singles and EPs they tricked me into doing, and a lot of people got upset by that. A lot of my own fans kind of turned on me, being like, oh, this music's out. Well, go fuck yourself. You think I want to give out the ending chapter of my book? Like, come on. This isn't how any artist would release their art if it was up to them. But you know what? There is some sacrifices that must be made. And when you make big videos like I do and you make something that costs $1 million, there's a little give and take that goes in there. So without me agreeing to do some of the bullshit EPs, I couldn't make these $1 million music videos. And so it's something that I had to agree to do, and I had to do it to get to where I am. But in moving forward, I would never release anything besides maybe a couple singles because it was so painful having my music slowly come out over 3 years. This album's been done for 3 years. I had it done before I signed with Atlantic Records. So It's been fucked up trying to just sit around on all this music. And we all know it's going to take years for this music to catch on. It's not like, oh yeah, magically people are just going to find out about it. It's like, this is going to take, 3 years for people to finally recognize what this album is. So by that time, I'll be almost like 40 years old.
Well, hey, man, if it's any consolation, it appeals to me, man. I love this record. It's so good, and I'm glad that, there's more songs to listen to. It's like, got one big cohesive, package to it. You listen to it beginning to end now. That's great, man. It's an awesome milestone for any musician, dude. It's huge.
Thank you. And yeah, I will say this. It is my first album as Oliver Tree, and it will be my last album as Oliver Tree. The experience through working in the industry has completely jaded me. I literally have been signed to labels since I was 18 years old. So it's been 9 years that I've worked professionally as a recording artist. And this is somehow the first album that ever came out. I've been constantly, my life has basically just been constantly failure after failure. And I have made 15 fucking albums and none of them have seen daylight. Can someone explain this to me? Like, this is bullshit. I spend 90% of my time now promoting music. I don't even make art anymore hardly because I'm constantly just one promotional setup and then into the next. And it's like, I didn't get into making art to be a promotional guy. Okay. I got into making art to be sitting in my fucking little compound, making art till the sun comes up. That's what I do. I'm an artist. But when I'm stuck here promoting 90% of the time, I don't feel like I get to be the artist that I am, And the truth is that this has been an experience that's jaded me, and working with people, and I meet great people along the way, and people like yourself who are, sweethearts and people who are actually nice. But then you get these vampires and these people who, oh, I want one more. Can you give us one more thing? Be back next time, blah, blah. And there's people who are constantly, oh, it's never enough. And, oh, it's not satisfying. And, oh, you can't put an album out till you get 1 million followers. That's what the label tells me. And then it's like 1 million followers. Okay, I get 1 million followers. Guess what the label tells me?
Wait.
They tell me, Oliver, you have to have 2 million followers.
Moving the goalposts. Some bullshit right there, man.
This is literally my life. And I feel discontent, and I felt discontent because people are always telling me it's never enough, it's never good enough. And this album, Ugly is Beautiful, is about arriving to a place where you not only can learn to love yourself and accept the flaws in yourself on a surface level, but also accept where you are at life. And after all your failures and everything that you are where you're at. And you just got to accept that and just literally celebrate that you have arrived, And I'm trying to reach this point in my life where I can just accept where I am, because it's never going to feel like it's enough. It's never going to feel like, oh man, I finally done it, because there's always so many people doing so much better, and it's always never enough. In the way that society is constructed makes us feel that way. The way the industries are set up is designed to make you feel like shit so that you work harder, so that you never stop working. And then they do all, you're just sitting there doing all the work for the label. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the strategy. And the thing is that I don't want to be a pawn in this game anymore. I'm fucking done.
Right. Well, let's take a little flash back for a second. Back when you were scootering, a pro scooter rider, I saw in an interview you were talking about your scooter crew, and I was thinking, I don't know if I know any scooter crews. What size are we talking about? What's a good size scooter crew?
It was 15 guys. We had a pretty
dudes?
solid crew, yeah. And not everybody would be there every single day, but there was a lot of times where you'd have all 15 guys at the park, rain or shine. But there was days where you'd only have 10 people, but we would just have sessions, and we all went to the same high school. We would just cruise after freshman year. Really, we were was that the peak of it, when we were really defining our crew and the scope of what we were, who was in the hierarchy, where we sat. Obviously I was at the top, and there was a lot of jealousy that went along with that. And so I experienced that from an early age, and I saw what success did and how it not only just changed you, but those around you ultimately. And there was a lot of people who got jealous, became haters, talked a lot of shit, and fuck them.
Yeah. So now you are one of only really 2 people I can think of that were an athlete before you switched over to music, like Jack Johnson being the other one. What's that?
Lil Wayne, the skateboarder? Who's the other one?
Jack Johnson is who I was thinking of. He's a pro surfer, and then he was a film director. Yeah. And then he was a film director, and then he was a musician.
That fucking guy made that shit up, dude.
Yeah, probably is getting him laid, but
and now he's telling people he's a film director?
He was. I've seen some of his movies.
No, wait, what did he ever direct?
Surf films, but still.
Okay, that doesn't count, dude. That's like if I said I was a director who only made scooter films. Come on now. Who are we kidding here?
Oh, yeah, I think that's your next step, man. You got to do a scooter video. I want to see a scooter video from Oliver Tree, directed by Oliver Tree.
We filmed a documentary of the making of the world's biggest scooter, so that will come out probably in the next year or so.
That'll hold me over until like, you know, the big like shred piece on scooting.
I have a documentary that should be out in the next week or possibly two, depending on how generous I'm feeling. But I went to Australia to compete against Ryan Williams, who's the #1 Australian scooter rider. And we went and hit his big air jump, 15-footer. And we were literally 30 feet up in the air. We have a whole documentary showing me competing against him in a game of scoot. And the game of scoot is like horse for basketball. So one person does a trick, the next person does a trick. You have to land it. If you don't do it, the other person gets to do another trick. And so we competed for the world title, and that documentary will be out in the next few weeks.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that too. Definitely. Now, like speaking of sports in general, like, you know, this is the type of thing I wonder when like somebody becomes like a professional musician and stuff, especially with a sports background. Like, if you could attain this, the highest position in a field, which would you rather do? Be like the world's greatest, one or the other, powerlifting or musician?
I'd say why not both? Because right now I'm doing a new workout regimen. And if I actually can take it to where I want to take it by this time next year, I'm going to be fucking jacked, dude. So there's no reason why I couldn't be ripped like the fucking Hulk or like literally whatever, some kind of crazy
Glenn Danzig.
Dude, fuck Glenn Danzig. Let me make that very clear, dude. That guy still owes me $20. Glenn, if you're watching this shit, I want my fucking money back. I lent this fucking guy $20 for a tuna sandwich and I never saw him again.
He's notorious for that. So would he be like your worst nightmare collabo, like to work with Glenn Danzig, or like?
I'd love to work with him. I just want the money back.
You got to start with the 20 in your pocket, and then we can do some work, right?
Just give the money back, and we won't have any problems. If you're watching this, Glenn, I want you to know, I need the 20. I'm in a rough spot.
Right. So now, what would be the dream collabo? Who would be the #1 person you would love to work with?
I already did it, man. Little Ricky. Have you heard the album? It's #2 track, 1993. That's featuring my favorite artist, the only artist I actually fuck with right now. Out of all the new musicians, nothing is exciting me except for what Little Ricky's doing. I'm actually collaborating with him a bit extensively. I'm helping him with his mixtape, the Little production, and also I feature on a couple of the tracks on Little Ricky's mixtape. So that will be out later, but that's probably going to be the last stuff that will come out as Oliver Tree.
Wow. Okay, cool. I can't wait to hear it. That's going to be great. So everybody's like in a kind of a bad way right now. You know, everybody's a little bit trapped at home. Like there's nothing out there to do anymore and stuff like that. The pandemic is like really messing with people. But I can't imagine like being yourself. You know, you're out in the scooter park surrounded by people. You're on a stage surrounded by people. How are you coping with all the isolation and you know the inability to do life as we knew it?
Just trying to make a bunch of shit, man. Like at this point, if you're not making those things that you dream of in this period, I mean, obviously it's hard when productions are down and things aren't able to be as big scale as what you might hope. But if you're not making what you dream to make right now, you're never going to fucking do it. Let's be realistic. So I'm working on screenplays, working on just building a production company, working on trying to do everything I can to try to get as many different opportunities outside of the music industry, because I am fucking done, man. And I'm so sick of this industry. I'm grateful that I have people like you who actually, you know, are real, genuine people. But 99% of this shit is a bunch of fucking phony clout chasers, bro. And I'm out, and I'm fucking done. Yeah,
I can understand. Now, social media, you are like you have, when we first like started messing with Oliver Tree, with your work, we like discovered your song, and then we went back and saw the social media, and we're like, oh man, the song is great, but it doesn't even scratch the surface about what this guy's about. You're like, we found out about the scooting and about like, you know, everything, your fashion statement, you make everything about you, like, you know, the social media icon was really fantastic too. So like, you're very good at this. Who would you recommend? Who would you say is also very good at it, that if we follow Oliver Tree, we should also go follow this person?
I'll be honest with you, man. There's no one quite like me. I don't want to have to I don't want to take this moment to talk about myself, but I will say what we're doing is setting up a blueprint for something that has not been done yet. We're trying to mix together all the different art forms in one, and I'm devising a little bit of a new template, which allows me to do every art form under the umbrella of Oliver Tree. I will say this, I am process of writing a memoir, How to Turn Yourself into the Human Meme. I've had it written from my senior thesis at Cal Arts. I did write it and publish it at the school, but now I am turning it into a 70-page memoir which is here, and it's a work
Whoa.
in progress. And I'll
right.
tell you right now, it's a full in-depth survey of memes culture, but I will say I'm running out of time, but here's where I'm at with the memoir. I've actually turned it into a pretty in-depth book here. If you look closely,
I can't wait to dig into that thing, man. That's great.
It goes through everything, man. But
yeah.
that's all the time we have here. But I want to thank you so much. And maybe next time we can get into some of the, meme culture, and I can give you a little bit more of a lesson on some of the more, how do I say, the more technical aspects that we don't have time to get to right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for your time. I can't say how much I love the album, and thanks for being here, and
Thank you.
appreciate you. And I hope you feel better soon with all the injuries and stuff. Glad it wasn't your C1. And dude, keep doing what you do, man. Keep being Oliver Tree. We love it.
And thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it. And you're the man, dude. Shout out to everybody in fucking Colorado. I love my Denver crew.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you so much, buddy.
Peace out.
Oliver Tree, everybody. Right on. Appreciate so much him joining us. That's awesome. And right now, by the way, if you're still on, KTCL.com has free copies you can download of this album. So go and sign up to win one of those things. We got a bunch of them to give away. So KTCL.com is where you go and grab a copy of that Oliver Tree. The downloads are up for grabs. One should be yours for sure. And tomorrow, I believe B-Large is going to be filling in for me on Show and Tell right at the same account. So if you've got something to show and talk about, then join us at 1:30. We're pushing it back half an hour for just minutia reasons. But definitely join us again tomorrow. Instagram Live from KTCL Channel 93.3 and show something off. Show and Tell every Tuesday, usually at 1, tomorrow, 1:30. And thank you, everybody that joined us here. I see all of you in there. Sorry I couldn't wave back through that. I wanted to give Oliver all of my focus. But appreciate you joining us on Instagram Live today. And we're going to put this on IGTV. So don't forget to watch it again if you missed any of the details. All right. Thanks, everybody.